trees and stuff.
Sometimes free climbing up
Yeah.
trees. Sometimes it's somebody that's found one on the side of the road, and you either go after it yourself, or they've actually boxed it up and taken and brought it to you, or brought it to the vet. And first, after that, if it hasn't been to the vet, you take it to the vet. Make sure it's rehabable, and then it's mostly feed it and leave it alone.
Yeah, the important thing is that you know that you can't heal the bird. You can just give it the optimal conditions for it to heal itself.
You give it good food. If it's not eating, you force feed it, and you give it plenty of quiet. I've had birds that were covered in 6 hours with food and water and a little quiet. We had a kingfisher like that.
Yeah, in and out.
Cool. Larry, you were telling me yesterday about some of your automotive exploits.
Well, I've crashed many cars, yeah. Yeah, this could be a while if I listen to them all.
How long have you been doing this?
Oh,
and
goodness.
how did you get into it?
Well, I still have my first car, actually, 57 Chevy, 210 hardtop, which I bought at age 14 with all the fenders crushed in, and you can see through the floorboards, and started its third restoration now. But as far as racing goes, I did club racing. My big claim to fame is I had the first legal mini truck in SCCA competitions, Sports Car Club of America, because I was a college student and I had a '84 Ford Ranger with no options but a rear bumper. And I said to them, look, this is all I got. I'm keeping it street legal because it's all I got, but 40% of this thing is out of a Ford Escort anyway. And I said, so can I run it as a Ford Escort with a really big trunk? And they looked at it, I gave them a parts list. I said, 4-speed, 4 tires, and a seat. And you described an MG Midget or a Spitfire or this truck. And they said, we can't find a reason to say no. So I had the first racing truck in the SCCA. And it was a blast. And then I ran a Thunderbird Turbo Coupe. Which most people don't know, the Thunderbird at that time was actually built on the Mustang platform. So it was kind of a Luxo Mustang, and it looked bigger than it actually was, so it was quite intimidating on the track. And the best I ever placed was 8th, but I was never actually competing with other drivers. I was just trying to improve my skill, and other people happened to be there. I'm not a competitive guy, and the middle of the pack is where you have the most fun, honestly. But now, both Misty and I, she's actually got a Formula Racing license.
So do you.
I do, sure. And we are race officials for the World Endurance Championship, and IMSA, and Formula One. We do the flags that are on the corners that you see signaling the drivers. So if you ever see a race at Circuit of the Americas in Austin, we're probably on one of the corners. And because of my rescue background, I'm also first over the wall if there's an incident.
No, you're not.
No, I don't want to be.
No, not anymore. They won't let anybody go over the wall.
Yeah, that's true. They just changed the rules that you have to have an order from the head marshal before you go over the wall now, which is frustrating.
Yeah.
If you see fire.
Yeah. Your first instinct is
exactly.
Go help.
Just rolling over with a fire bottle.
Well, you could go right from the other side of the wall.
I will it. I project it. Yeah. But yeah, we had a Formula One race, and we were on turn 1, and that's the only place there was an incident the whole race. And 3 of them stacked up on each other, and those things just shatter like they're eggshells.
Yeah.
You wouldn't believe how fragile they
like
are.
glass cars.
Yeah, yeah. And the thing about carbon fiber is that it's all razor edge. So if you have one that really splats in front of you, it's throwing knives at you. But I'm so proud of Misty. I'm going to brag on you. I'm going to brag on her. We had one car coming up about 180 miles an hour, ass first at her, and instead of going, her first instinct was grab the flags and start waving. I'm like, that's my girl. Check her out. Badass Misty.
Awesome.
Yeah, it is great. It's wonderful.
When something's coming at you at about 200 miles an hour, ass first, and you see clouds, your initial reaction is not, what is that, but, oh God, it's on fire!
Yeah.
It wasn't.
Yeah, but we've had some really interesting experiences with that. At the F1, there was a lot of debris on the track, and I had brought knee pads. And so I just did a baseball slide in to grab debris, and that was like all over the BBC and stuff like that. And grabbing up pieces of race car and stuffing them in a bag while it's a live track.
And you have to give all that back.
Yeah, I know, you can't keep any of it because it's all prototype stuff. Our love is prototype racing, World Endurance Championship stuff. There's starships with tires. And the technology in them, I mean, NASA refers to them. It's incredible stuff. We've officiated races where they were testing radar and LiDAR systems on cars, and now they track each other on a screen inside the car. Without even looking at the mirrors, it will say the distance between a vehicle because it's got LiDAR all around it and stuff. It's awesome.
Have they all switched over to alternative power now, or?
They are. Most of the top league guys are hybrids, yeah.
Yeah.
They had 4 different hybrid systems a couple of years ago, including one that sat in the passenger area of the car and is a giant flywheel.
Yeah. Oh, I know that one. Yeah, I read about that one.
And the great thing about the kinetic energy system is that as you slow down, it spins up the flywheel. But you slow down when you're going into a turn. When you're going into a turn, it acts as a gyroscope and keeps the car completely level. Ooh. It's wicked cool.
Popular Science ran a feature on that one.
Yeah.
It looked amazing.
The weird thing is that when you're at turn 1 and you're at the end of the long straight, you've got these hypercars coming at you, and then they go silent. Because as soon as they come off the gas for the turn, the engine shut off. Yeah. And they just go, whoa! And you just hear this as it goes past you, and then as soon as it's around the turn, wow, off they go like they're getting afterburners. It's so cool. You gotta try it. Yeah, we love it. We love it.
Silent engine with screeching tires.
Oh,
yeah, it's gonna be weird. Yeah,
it really is.
Very strange.
The first time I drove one of these hybrids, it's unnerving. You're thinking something's wrong with the car.
Yeah.
Where's the engine noise?
Yeah, because suddenly, yeah.
I think they had to add engine noises to hybrids on the
That is the thing that they're worried about. Yeah.
People walking the street wouldn't hear the car coming.
The first hybrid I encountered was a Honda Insight, and I just looked over, oh, got a car, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had that with the Chevy Volt.
It was awesome.
Oh, yeah.
There's
Yeah, love it.
ones like that far away from.
Yeah, but there's no doubt that hybrid tech is really the only way to go for endurance racing. And this is endurance racing that we're talking about. This is not just roundy NASCAR stuff. This is 26 turns, elevation change of 86 feet on the track, top ends of 220 some miles an hour, and cutting edge technology. And every single car, even within teams, are different, because they're testing new technology on it, and they'll run for between 4 to 24 hours continuously at top speed.
Amazing.
Stopping to change drivers, that's it.
And tires.
And tires, yeah, fuel up.
Well, on a very different subject,
Mhm.
Missy, you used to do a lot of filking. You've won, what, 5 Pegasus Awards on that?
Something like that.
Pegasus.
Yeah.
Pegasus.
How do you know how to stop spelling that word? Yeah.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
When you're not doing that actively these days.
No.
When you were doing that at the peak.
There was a peak?
Well, when you were doing it more frequently.
I thought it was more low key than having peaks.
What about that interested you? Was it the performance aspect, or was it the writing aspect that you enjoyed the most?
Probably equally.
Yeah.
I'm a big folk music fan, so that was sort of a natural. And the reason I stopped was threefold, really. One was I was starting to become more prominent as a writer, and I didn't want people to show up to the filking and interrupt the filking to get autographs, things like that. Let the people who were professional filkers, because it was getting to the point where there were such a thing as professional filkers, let them have the spotlight properly. 2, we're getting too old to stay up that late.
Says the one that was signing autographs till 1:15 in the morning.
Yeah, well, and 3, I could play guitar or I could write, and I play guitar rather badly, and I write fairly well. So, plus writing pays the mortgage, and playing guitar doesn't.
What prompted you to get into that? Was it just love of music?
It was. I said I was sort of got into real live, honest to goodness, not correspondence fandom with the SCA, and I started there with a bit of a musical group that we had doing medieval Renaissance folk music. And I just carried that into science fiction conventions. Figured I might as well.
How about SCA? Are you still involved with them? You started with that early on.
I haven't done any SCA things in a very long time, but I am still, by God, a brother in the Great Dark.
Nice.
She still rides.
Still riding.
What were you doing when you were actively involved?
What was that? What?
Yeah. What was your level of interest when you were doing that?
I did costuming, in no small part because I had the only sewing machine in the entire farm. If I never see another cloak again, it will be too soon. Do you know how many miles of hems a round cloak has? So costuming, a little bit of artwork, all the various decorative techniques that are involved with the costuming, and the music. I never got into the fighting. I tried it once, and I ended up with a bruise the size of my head on my thigh and decided, no, never again.
Fair choice.
Although she's hardly a damsel in distress.
No, but
I've seen her on the range, trust me.
I just didn't need to whack somebody else with a stick that badly.
Larry, we haven't seen very many multi-talents like you at the level of professional that you're at. Working as a professional novelist and a professional illustrator.
Yeah, and